Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. So I just left Sam's Club in my area, and the prices don't seem to have gone up a bunch. But they certainly haven't come down. And I just want to talk about that for a second because you're hearing a lot like, well, Trump should have done this, that, or the other. Well, Trump just got in office, right? When we have economic times like this, it doesn't happen unless something tragic happens, like 9/11, where somebody pops a nuke. My camera's absolutely crooked. Somebody pops a nuke in somebody's country. Normally, changes in the market, pricing changes in particular, they take an extended period of time. So right now, even, he's been in office, a month? You're really not going to see a change. This is something you may see over time. Plus, he's playing hardball with other countries, so you're going to see a lot of that. And I'm not being an apologist. I'm just talking about the reality of the political spectrum as it affects the market. If the other person had won, if Kamala had won, she would have done certain things that would have sent the markets in certain directions as well. Either way, it takes some time. What I'm noticing, though, is, the pricing is elevated, right? And it's elevated from where it was 4 years ago. The amount of inflation we've seen in 48 months is extremely high. For example, I saw, a pack of green beans used to be $4. It's now $7.98. And it was, that case that has like 8 cans of green beans or whatever in it. And I use those kind of products as kind of my benchmark. So that's almost a 50% increase. Actually, I take that back. It's almost a doubling of the price, right? There was another product, I think it was a coffee, that had gone from 4 cents an ounce to 5 cents an ounce, or 40 cents to 50 cents. I can't remember. Actually, it's 40 cents to 55 cents, which doesn't sound like a lot. But when you do the percentages, that's actually a 20% increase, right? Because 40 cents, 10% of 40 cents is 4 cents. So you go up by 10, that's roughly 25% increase. So if everything has been going up 25% in little increments, well, not little, relatively fast little increments over 4 years, this is why we are where we are. Dr. Michael Porter was a business analyst in Harvard years ago. He wrote a book back in the 80s and 90s referring to the 5 forces of business. And it refers to a business being the middle of a pinwheel. And then it has these external forces influencing it: competition, suppliers, the customers, the markets, etc. I won't go into the whole thing. I actually did a series of videos when I first started this channel about Michael Porter's business rules as applied to preppers. I might have to redo that whole video series now that my journey and my channel have kind of evolved over time, so we can kind of fine-tune the whole concept. But bottom line is, we're going to talk about the suppliers, right? So we get product from the stores. They are our suppliers. They in turn get stuff from farms or factories or whatever, so that's their suppliers. One of the biggest things a company can do when they're facing inflationary pricing from their suppliers is find other sources. Now, a couple of routes they can take. One, and we can do the same thing. One, find another supplier. So go to a different store, find if the prices for whatever products you're looking for are cheaper. Now, two, barring the other stores, the other option is to look into alternative sources. For example, the farmers markets, local farms. We have some meat markets out here that are ranch to table. In other words, they sell their meats to the meat company. The meat company butchers, adds their little add-on, and you're buying it right there. You're not buying it from the wholesaler or the ranches who sold it to a wholesaler who sold it at Walmart, who processed it and brought it here after they sent it to China to be cut. No. The bottom line is, try to shorten your supply chain as much. The closer you are to the source of what you need, the better off you're probably going to be. In not all cases, but in many. And it's cutting out the middleman, sadly. So, for example, another good example is the eggs, right? You go to the store, you get eggs, but the eggs have gone through hands, right? They went from the farms to the wholesaler, to the warehouse, to the final seller, and then to you. If you can go to a farm and get them direct, it may cost you a little more up front, but you're less likely to have those supply chain disruptions and those price swings because it's closer to home, right? So aside from finding other suppliers, is find another source. Now, option 3, why is ring is your back door? Yes, my dog's chasing the cat again. I can see the little picture of like Bentley and Stormy chasing the cat across the yard. And it's the same cat. Like, they'll love on the cat at night and then they chase her away. But anyway, it's dog things. The third option you have, going back to alternative suppliers or an alternative source, is another alternative product. So if you like to eat chicken and chicken has got inflated, can you switch with pork? Can you use beef in those recipes? Can you use something else? Okay, you can use tofu and stir fry. I know that's tofu and soy and all that, but point being, start thinking, that's a terrible example, but start thinking outside the box. What can I put in this recipe to make it taste good and still have a good product, a good output for the family, for myself, for my pets, whatever the case may be. I'd also recommend knowing how to source your own, which would be option 4, is make your own. If you have sufficient land and terrain and resources and expertise, great. If you can grow it your own, great. And then option 5 would be buy bulk, and if split it if necessary. But if you buy in bulk, logistically speaking, it's easier for a company to, produce 10 pounds of ground meat, put it in one package, and sell it to you at a higher price than you buying individual 1 pound increments, which will cost you twice as much, right? So keep those things in mind as we go through these tumultuous times in the market. Find another supplier, find another source, find an alternative product, shorten your supply chain, and if necessary, grow it or make it yourself if you can do so. And remember, you can do a combination of these things for different products, right? You may be able to do eggs with your chickens, but you don't have a cow, so you can't get milk. So that may be what you start shopping for, and you start using your own eggs. If you have a nice garden, but you don't have chickens, well, you make your own vegetables, and then you can maybe trade them for eggs. Try to start thinking along those lines, and that's going to give you some options as the market kind of flattens out and, we kind of see where everything goes. Anyway, folks, I hope that was helpful for y'all. Y'all be safe. God bless. Godspeed. I will see you on the next video.